Hello, my name is Rowlands. I'm a nutritional balancing practitioner, and in this video I'm just going to run through a couple of questions that I've got on email, not many today. So first question, hi Lewis, is it possible to have a second serving for breakfast if I still feel hungry? For instance, I have a large plate of vegetables with 1 tablespoon of almond butter. Is it okay then to eat, for example, another half of a large plate of vegetables and half a tablespoon of almond butter if I still feel hungry? Yeah, basically, if you feel hungry on the program, eat more. If you need to eat 10 meals a day, eat 10 meals a day. If you eat 15 cups of vegetables per day, eat 15 cups. We're basically just trying to get as many nutrients into the body as possible. You know, I mean, obviously don't make yourself sick, but if you're genuinely hungry, just eat more and have a little bit more protein. It's fine, just work out the ratio. So yeah, if you have, half a plate full of vegetables, you could just have, you don't have to be massively precise, but you could just have some more vegetables. It would be fine if you've had a little bit of protein already. If you want to half the protein again, it's absolutely fine. But yeah, if you're just hungry, just eat more. That's the general gist of things. Usually a good snack is like chicken and oil, and I think someone's asked that question on the next question. So this next question. My anxiety, along with the on edge feeling of nervousness, is gone. Top work. My depersonalization is only 2% better. How many years did it take you to get rid of DP/DO? I know everyone is different, but how long did it take you to get rid of your depersonalization? Will I be able to eat bread again? Well, the question of will I be able to eat bread again? I mean, you can. How do you want to look at it? Bread is not good for the human body today. So it's kind of like saying, can I, will I be able to eat poison again? That's probably the best way of looking at it. When people say, oh, can I go, if I do the program for 2 years, can I go back to eating pizza? It's like, that's like saying, if I get healthy, can I go and eat a bit of poison? It's like, well, why would you want to do that? Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you might be able to handle the poison better, but it's not going to make you feel good necessarily, or, So bread's just not very good for people these days. A little bit of rye bread's not too bad, a little bit of, whole grain or whatever. But the end of the day, you just keep sticking to the program diet. I mean, at the end of the day, your health's your wealth. People need to really, really get out the mindset of, if I get myself healthy, can I go back drinking? Can I go back smoking? It's like, do you really want to spend your whole life like just wanting to kind of damage the body? Do you know what I mean? I'm not meaning to sound harsh, but like happiness, you want to be happy, right? So if you're putting poison into the body, you can't be consistently happy. It's impossible. So you want to try and and I was the same. I don't think that I was some sort of angel that's just done the program 24/7 for 6 years. That's not been the case. But you realize after a while that there's actually no point, that what you're here on earth to do is you're here to love. You're here to spread love. That's it. And spreading love comes in many different ways. You might be spreading love to your parents or your children, or you might be spreading love to the food that you make. Like, you will realize after a while that your main purpose on this planet is to be an extender of love. Like, we are like love machines, like, on the earth plane. And for you to like extend, me doing these YouTube videos is an extension of my love, because I'm giving myself to you guys out of love. And you need to understand the true meaning of love, because people get mixed up by it. I'm going to be doing a video on that actually soon. And if you want to be of great service to the world, then you need to have a great body. You need to be sharp in the mind. You need to be spiritually oriented. You need to be physically well. And to do that, you need to be basically following the nutrition balancing program. Like, all it's doing is trying to recreate these, trying to balance out the body how it's meant to be balanced out. So it's just not a good idea to be in that position of, if I get healthy, can I go back to being, because you're not doing any justice to yourself, and you're not doing any justice to the world. You're just holding everyone back. Because the main aim is just to be on a high vibration and spread love, and that's a difficult mindset to get into. And don't think that I it took me a short amount of time to get to that mindset, but after a while you'll realize that that's what happens. I was speaking about this a little bit in the beginning. Like, human bodies and the ego is a little bit like a wild horse. Like, it's just everywhere and it's wanting to do this and it's running around wild, and it's just causing a mess, really. And the nutritional balancing program literally is like someone on the back of the horse taming the horse. It's like pulling, when the horse wants to go off in a stupid direction, the program will actually pull you back. That's just how it works. It's a beautiful program. It keeps you on the narrow path, and it's like it can be difficult and it can be tough and it can be hard, and it is hard, and it's hard because we've removed ourselves so far away from source energy, from God, from the universe. We've moved ourselves so far away, the ego, that to get back to it, you've got to, it's difficult. Like, you got to face a lot of things. You got to, hit some challenges. So yeah, interesting answer to whether you can eat bread or not, but that's kind of a good way of looking at it. So how long did it take you to heal your DP/? Okay, I'm going to be honest with you and tell you how long it took me specifically to sort out my derealization. Everyone's different. So that's the first thing I want to say in this video. Everyone is different. So don't hang yourself on my experience. Did you go out every weekend and take 10 ecstasy tablets and drink 10-20 pints of alcohol like I did? Probably not. You might have done something else. You might have been smoking crystal meth, or you might have not done any of that. Did you take antibiotics pretty much every week since you were a child? That's what I did. I had chronic infections. Did you take a really, really powerful drug, Accutane, steroid, like a pure vitamin A steroid, for a good year? Every single day at high dosages, which basically like kills people's liver. That's what I did. Did you eat ready meals and half a loaf of white bread every single day for 20 years? That's what I did. So that's my brief story. Did you go and do exercise for up to 10 hours sometimes every day? I would go out and do exercise 10 hours a day. So you kind of get a picture of it. I was in a mess. I was in a big ass mess. And it's the reason why I feel that I can give the information that I give you guys, because I've been through a lot of crap, and people will say to me, oh, I'm going through this, and I'm like, yeah, I went through that as well, and I can give people advice. So don't compare yourself to me. Some people might have been vaccinated when they was a kid, and they've got they've got some sort of autistic, they're autistic, or do you know what I mean? They might have been in a car accident where they damaged the brain. I didn't have that. They might have been fairly healthy for 20 years, and then they just went through a stressful period, splitting up with the partner or something, and so it's different. Quickly, like, my derealization, it's combined with a lot of different things. So, for example, my adrenal glands, so it worked in layers. So my derealization slowly started getting better. Like, for the first 2 years, it was a gradual improvement, and like, I was happy enough with that. Like, my adrenal glands were completely messed up. Like, it probably took me about 4 or 5 years to fix. They're not even 100% fixed now, but it took me a long while to just get them to a good level. My blood sugar imbalances probably went away after a year. My brain fog improved pretty good when I started taking supplements, but then it came back down again as I was going through healing reactions. Like, there's just so many factors involved to answer a question like that. It's difficult. Like, I said on a previous video, like, I feel that I'm quite clear now, but probably in 5 years' time, I would look back on this time and think, man, I wasn't clear one bit. In all honesty, like, it's not just about healing derealization, depersonalization, or it's not just about healing brain fog or whatever. Like, you've got to heal relationships as well to be feeling good. You've got to heal the place that you live. You've got to heal thinking patterns, like learn how to rest. Like, these mental things are just as important to healing as other things. Like, I was just like any other young lad. I just wanted to heal and go out and get pissed again and take, not take drugs, but I just wanted to go and enjoy myself. And there were times in the program where I did that, and you realize after a while, probably took me like 2 or 3 years to realize that shit, actually I can never actually go back to drinking. Like I would go out and go and get drunk maybe once a month or once every 2 months, because I was so used, I just had such an addictive mindset that, for first 2 years I could have probably healed way quicker if I was in the mindset I'm in now. So if I was in the mindset I'm in now, if I just went, this is the mindset I'm in now, and I would probably have like halved, it probably would have took me 3 years to get to where I'm at now. Just, you see where I'm coming from? Like, it's not just about necessarily, you've got to learn and change the way that you think on so many levels. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, like it's only been in the past year where I've realized how damaging like it can be to be in a relationship with another person if that person's not on your, there's certain aspects that you need to look for in a relationship. Like, I only learned that this year. Do you know what I mean? And I spent 4 years in relationships just now, and it has actually slowed my development a little bit. I learned a lot, and I needed to learn all of them experiences for me to realize, oh, actually I need to act like this if I'm going to get into a relationship. But it took me 4 years to learn that. Do you know what I mean? Because just learning different things, like we've now got a vast amount of knowledge on man-woman dynamics, but it's definitely slowed down my healing. Like, I was stressed a lot of the time, and so you can't compare yourself, man. It's just not a wise thing to do. In general, for me, if I, probably like it probably took me about 5 years for me to be like, do you know what? I'm fairly normal. I'm pretty normal now. Do you know what I mean? But I came from a very, very severe place. Do you know what I mean? After about 2 years, there was a weight off my shoulders. I was thinking, oh man, like, God, I'm glad I weren't back in that place. But I still wasn't great. And then, 3 years, it was me trying to integrate myself back into society. 4 years, I'm learning more about that, but I'm learning more about relationships as well. Year 5, I'm kind of coming towards the end of my not coming towards the end, but learning a lot more about relationships. But by this time, year 5, I'm well out into society, but then there's problems with doing that as well. You're doing too much stuff. I start doing too much stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna end up burning myself out again here. So it's then I'm retracting from that. And I'm at a period now where I'm just more interested in like learning about the earth and the land and meditating more, going inside myself and helping you guys. I'm not so much bothered about spending, I'm not so much bothered about going to loads of different things and, like, just putting myself out there. Like a lot of people think, they think that, oh, if I get healthy, then I can just build these giant businesses or whatever. It's really is a journey, and it's a process, and you got to love it and respect it, and it'll teach you so many things, and that's what you need to be focused on. And yeah, it's really nice to not have derealization, depersonalization, but don't think all my problems have gone. They haven't. Life is a game. Life is a theatre play. We're here to learn. We're here to have challenges. We're here to grow. I'm going through a growing process now. I'll tell you something that happened this morning. Do you want to hear something freaky and cool? So this morning I was doing meditation. I was pushing my energy downwards, and all of a sudden I got this visualization of a beach and a hammock, just chilling on a beach, chilling on a hammock. Now, and it was actually in Thailand. Now, I have trauma attached to Thailand, because when I was in Thailand healing, I went through a huge healing reaction, which was traumatic. I mean, I was getting off a lot of trauma, and traumas can be releasing trauma can be traumatic. And I ended up leaving the country and coming back to England, and like I have a big like blockage of Thailand. But anyway, I was lying on the beach, chilling, just thinking, do you know what, Lewis? I've been efforting. you know what I mean, working on computers all day, trying to get back into sighting. Do you know what? Life's not really about that. Life's just about just trying to get as close to God as possible, as close to the source as possible for now in my journey. I mean, if you believe in God, which I do, I believe that there's a higher force, and I didn't used to, and it's the nutritional balancing program that's evolved me to think like this. But if you're, let's just imagine that God's real, and you look down at the earth, and all the humans on the earth have moved away from God. They've moved away from ego. Now, really, what your job is as a person on earth is to try and get yourself back as close to that source as possible. That's one of your main jobs. That's what the nutritional balancing program actually helps you do, whether you understand this or not. This is what it's doing. It's getting you back to the source. It's getting you back to the truth. And yeah, I had a sudden realization of my main job in reality is to just chill out and rest and relax and get close to God. Because if the closer I am to God, that's one less person he's got to worry about. Do you know what I mean? And it's true, man. And the nutritional balancing program does that. I mean, I've been doing a lot of things recently, and the nutritional balancing program has been bringing me back, and this is why I had this realization. Anyway, I know I'm talking a lot in this video, but I like to go on little monologues sometimes. So yeah, I had this kind of just visualization when I'm meditating, just me on a beach, and just like, do you know what? Maybe that's what I want to be doing at the moment. Just want to go and just chill out on a beach, keep doing my YouTube videos, keep looking after my nutrition balancing people, but I just want to get into myself more, meditate more, do more healing, stop worrying about fixing the world. It's not my job to fix the world. It's God's job to fix the world. If I can be a aid in that help, then that's fine. But really, my main job is to get as close to God as possible, or to love. That's probably a better way of looking at it. I never used to like the word God because I got brought up fearing God, whatever. But it's just love, really, getting as close to that energy of love as possible. And again, you need to understand what the word love means, because people have got no clue what it means. So I'll be doing a video on that soon as well. So anyway, I had this meditation, and I just spoke to one of my clients, and he'll probably be watching this. He knows who he is. He's going through a big reaction at the moment, similar to the one I went to in Thailand. His copper is through the roof. His aluminium's through the roof. His nickel is really high. If you watched my video yesterday on suicide, he's been having suicidal thoughts. I told him about 3 weeks back. I says, I bet your nickel is high. I also told him a few other things. I says, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. We got the hair test, and it's happening. And it was like, man, Lewis, you know what? You were right, man. So anyway, I was having this conversation with this guy, and we finished the conversation. And my flatmate, who has a bit of a problem with opening himself up to nutritional balancing, I know it's there bubbling inside of him, but there's some ego thing there that's stopping him from really fully embracing it. And there's been little things recently that's chipping away at him that he needs to start doing it fully. He's very, very health conscious, and is a great person, very spiritually orientated, but he's a bit of a vegan, and has a bit of trouble, for example, looking at Dr. Wilson's website because it doesn't look that professional. And there's a reason behind that, and there's a reason behind why I don't come across as being super professional. There's a reason behind that, and it's to reduce people's egos a little bit, and to realize actually they need to see past that, because that's an unwise thing to do. So anyway, I finished the comment, and he heard me praising this guy, saying, you're doing really well. You're going through a big process at the moment. Keep going. And obviously my flatmate heard some of this, and yeah, it was, and I showed him this guy's hair analysis. I says, look at the copper. Look at the calcium. I talked him through it, and I says, like, this guy, I didn't have, when I was going through a similar situation in Thailand, I didn't have someone like me really to just tell me certain things. So I was doing like stuff that was making my levels go even higher, and my flatmate was visibly like, wow, that's insane. And then he was like, oh, you know what? I've just had a thought. We should go away somewhere and chill out on a beach. I'm like, well, that's weird. I've literally just had a visualization about that in my meditation. He's in my flatmate. It says, where was you meditating? I says, in Thailand, weirdly enough. And he was like, man, I had the same thought just coming to my mind now. That's insane. I was like, yeah, it's insane. Especially because I've got blockages. And he's like, yeah, I know you've got blockages, and that's why I thought it was weird that I also had the same vision. So he was like, and then he gave me a weird look. He's like, where was you thinking in Thailand? And I really tried to tune in and to check in, and like, where was it? And I went to my computer and I just typed in Koh Samui, and all of a sudden my flatmate went into the kitchen, come back with this piece of paper that he had written on it, Koh Samui, where his friends are that are doing some really deep meditational work. And how insane is that? I mean, if that's not a sign that something needs to happen, then I don't know what is, because there's some guys actually in Thailand that are doing some really powerful, intense stuff, and they live in Koh Samui. So anyway, whatever you want to make of that, you know, interesting stuff. But yeah, you know, I don't like it when people really ask me these questions. How long did it take you to heal? I'm still healing now. You know, all you need to worry about, you guys that are watching this, is feeling better now in the moment. If you've got derealization, you know, that you've said that your anxiety and your feeling of nervousness have gone, fantastic. Just work to the next level. Stop comparing yourself to other people. There's no point. Healing's going to take a lifetime to do. All right. So all you guys need to worry about is not comparing yourself necessarily to me or anyone else. Just, are you improving? Are you improving? Are you improving? You know, and that's all that matters. And it's confusing when you're doing a program, and it's like I was speaking to the guy, you know, my client who's going through this intense reaction. I was like, it feels like you're getting worse. I felt like I was getting worse in Thailand. You look at the hair analysis, like, nah, man, you're not getting worse. You are going through the turning point of the soul shifting in its seat. This is it. This is it. This is this is big boy stuff. Do you know what I mean? This is where you got to grow a pair, you know what I mean, and get through it. This is you know, this is deep stuff. You know what I mean? It's going to make you a man. It's going to make you a woman. You know, and a lot of people will quit the program. You know, they'll quit the program because I don't look professional enough on videos. You know, ego. They'll quit the program because they go for a healing reaction and they don't understand it. They'll quit the program because they think that I'm here to fix them, you know, and they just rely too much on me, as if I'm going to sit with them for 2-3 hours a day and walk them through everything. I ain't got time to do that. I'm a human being. That's not my job. It's God's job. I'm here to guide you, you know, take some responsibility. I can only give so much stuff. This is why I give out all this free information on YouTube. You know, when I was healing, I had to do my own research. I had to do my own learning. I had to watch my own videos, because it's the program is so vast, so much information, you know, that you can only get so much from a practitioner, and try and respect that. And you really have got to take some responsibility to learn this stuff. Like, telling that, like, people that really do well on the program are the people that, like, take some responsibility, read the articles, watch my YouTube videos. You know, they'll stay in touch, and I will always reply via video or via email. Do you know what I mean? It might not be paragraphs long like people are expecting, but don't, you know, you've got to. And the amount of times that people will swap practitioners because they think another practitioner is going to be better, or they're going to help them even more, and they'll just come back to me because they'll realize that it's no different. You know, it's their responsibility to fix themselves. Okay. There's another question here by the same person. I have terrible acne now. My forehead broke out in red bumps. I'm starting to get them around my shoulder area. I think it's potato chips. Every morning my skin is oily. It's crazy. I only ate one bag. First thing is, it seems to me like you're actually really sensitive to the blue corn chips, so I would stop eating them if I was you. Most of this guy's questions are about blue corn chips. So yeah, there's no point in fighting it. You are too sensitive to blue corn chips. Just stop eating them. Maybe swap it for some quinoa or a little bit of millet. You know, I do fine actually, not on very, very low carb. Some people really struggle. So maybe you could swap the potato chips and just have a little bit more protein. or chicken and salt is a good one as a snack. Bit of almond butter maybe, but yeah, it seems like the chips are not doing too good for you. I'm not sure. I don't think the chips caused the. I think it's probably some reaction. The acne coming out. At the end of the day, you know, people break out in spots because there's toxins coming out of the system, and that's just how things work. It's good just to honour that and you know, allow the toxins to come out and not get too caught up in it. Alright guys, that were a lot longer than I expected, but I hope you got some good information from that, and I'll speak to you all soon. Ciao. If you've got any questions, please email them, lewis@depearlingspace.com. If you want to start the program and get a hair analysis, please again email me, lewis@depearlingspace.com. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to plant my Brussels sprouts, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.